is Jenna Knight and I am a music and entertainment publicist who lives in Bristol now. When you are kind of starting out and launching your career, I think there comes a stage when you need a PR, but I think there's also a lot of stuff that you can do on your own to establish relationships to start off with. So if you are a brand new act and you know what field you're in, whether that's an urban field or a dance field or kind of a more mainstream field, there's definitely relationships that you can start to harness and work on yourself before you bring a PR on board, I think, yeah. I think in doing it yourself, so kind of first things first, get all your ducks in a row, so make sure all your socials are present and correct, all updated, have all the right content on there, have all the right images on there. You know, kind of really do your research, so find out who the type of people are that you should be speaking to, what those websites are, you know, the other type of artists that they cover and the type of content that they might want, and think about how you can apply that to yourself before you go and speak to people. So really do your research first of all, yeah. Don't spam everyone on Twitter. You know, obviously Twitter's great to start building relationships and to start kind of getting into kind of conversations with people and stuff like that, but don't take your SoundCloud and spam 100 people so it's in your timeline. You do see a lot of people still doing that, which surprises me, and I think, you know, chances are, by law of averages, you will get a couple of replies, but I think you'll probably put a few people's noses out of joints as well whilst doing it. So yeah, probably don't do that. And do network, do kind of go out, meet people, meet other artists, meet other kind of like up-and-coming writers, that type of stuff. So like connect with people, I think that's really important. Don't expect people to come to you. I think it's difficult, isn't it, because you are the artist and you normally have a team that does all that type of stuff. I would say kind of have like courage in your conviction. You know, you are your own best asset. You can sell yourself better probably than anybody else at that stage. So I think really just be confident, because that is the way to start talking to people, to start putting your name out there, and you are the only one that can sell that really at the beginning, because you know the vision. Yes, I think it's always good, whether you want to call it a press release, a biog, you know, just a bit of blurb, really, because people are always going to ask you who you are, like, who are you, what's your sound? You need to have like a working document to go to people with, because otherwise you're kind of going to people and just expecting them to listen to your music, but you need to give them some kind of basis of information to go on. So yeah, you always do need something, whether that's like a really fully fleshed out press release or biog, or whether that's just a couple of paragraphs that you put together to explain who you are and what your sound is. Pictures and imaging are really important. I think visuals are the thing that will kind of set you apart from other artists within your field. It really helps to bring to life the music, and it's all part of the bigger picture, it's all part of the storytelling, which is really, really important. The music is one thing and obviously the kind of strongest thing, but everything else you wrap around that is really important. I think the benefits of having a PR is that they will have the contacts and they will have the industry knowledge that you might not have at that stage. They will be able to advise you on where best to place your music, also kind of how to release it potentially, where it might sit properly, and also come up with kind of creative ideas, having another person to bounce stuff off. And I think once you have a PR, you are putting yourself at that level that someone is representing you, so it's quite a big statement to the world as well, that you have a team in place that's going out and speaking to people on your behalf. And also I think the role of a PR is to be very honest and to say this isn't going to work, but this might work, and come up with different ideas and kind of conversations. I do think track premieres are important. Obviously the kind of online world has changed so much in the last 18 months. I think when you're a new artist, you kind of want to cherry pick 4 or 5 sites that you really want to cover you and to kind of be your advocates. So the way to do that is by giving them all kind of pieces of new music and new content. So track premieres in itself are important, but the wider picture content is really important. So what kind of new content you're putting out. And you can get those independently. You know, you graft and you kind of research the right people that you think would be into your music and think would kind of understand your vision and what your brand is, and you go to them directly. So you can do that independently, yeah. Obviously that is what you have a PR to do, but if you're still at that early starting out stage, you could get a couple of those yourself, yeah. No, I don't think so. Obviously coverage is coverage, but it needs to be positive coverage, and I think that sometimes less is more. And it's about putting the right content out at the right time rather than just putting content and music out for the sake of it. So that kind of comes back round to what your release strategy is and what your timeline is. So no is the answer to that. I guess first things first, take a deep breath, take 10 steps back. Probably don't get into a heated debate online. I think that will always kind of spurn the situation. I think absolutely stick up for yourself, and if it's a situation where you think that someone else is in the wrong, put your point across perhaps, but just don't ever get into a bit of a more heated, topical conversation online, and just step away really and ask people for advice, and don't get too bogged down by it, because I think that will always happen. You're putting music out there to the world. People are always going to have their own opinions. Some people might not like it, and you can't really do anything about that. You just have to kind of appreciate that everyone will have their own feedback and just kind of move forward. I think that's really difficult as a new artist, because it's such a big deal to put your music out there and to put yourself out there, and it can be very hard when you start to see negativity and comments come through like that. Surround yourself with great people, accept that it's part of the journey, accept that it's going to happen, and you have to be able to equip yourself to deal with it and accept it and kind of process it and then kind of carry on, and just take a step away and maybe don't read them too much, you know, but it's all a part of the learning curve, I would say. 3 things that will get them ahead really quickly: have great content, so make sure you have great visuals, you know, and when I say great, they don't need to be kind of show-stopping right at the beginning, but just consistent. Tip 2 is to kind of connect with people and network with people. Really know your audience, really know your media, and that can be just by kind of going out and about and speaking with people and that type of thing. And the third one, know what your kind of plan and goals are for the next 12 months. I think sometimes it can be quite easy just to put music out there, and obviously why wouldn't you if that's what you love doing, you want to put it out there, but as you're starting to take it a bit more seriously, there needs to be a bit of a plan and a strategy behind it. I think that's really important, even when you're starting out. Work hard, connect with good people and introduce good people to one another, and accept that, you know, there'll be ups and downs, and it's all, again, part of your personal journey, and don't take anything for granted. I think that's really important, and like you do have to work really, really hard to kind of get a good reputation, and you know, you don't ever think that you can stop learning, because there's always new magazines, there's new websites, there's new promo platforms, so you have to consistently educate yourself, like all the time. It's an ever-changing vehicle, and the world changes so quickly in it that you have to keep abreast of it all.